Good morning from Angeles in the Philippines. I want to talk more about and I'm shooting this on my phone, guys, so sorry, I'm not going to be able to do much in the way of editing and correcting. But let's talk about the difference between a friendship and an acquaintance. And you'll have your enemy list too, or people that you just hope you don't run into again. But I want to talk about this because I've been getting a lot of cold shoulder from people. And I know not, I know not, I know no, I know no, I now know why, got that out finally, Ken, why this has been happening. And it is a political reason, okay? People just are too nervous about running into that political person that just can't let it go. And you know I keep saying, let it go, okay? But let's get into that whole friendship acquaintance thing. First off, you need the acquaintance, okay? You need it. But let me touch on why John and I became friends. We would never, and John will admit this too, we would never, ever have been friends in our native countries. Never. We are polar opposites in many ways, okay? And we would not have met directly on the street because it wouldn't have started right. But we met through a friend. Okay, I was in a condo with an Italian and we met through that friend. And so that kind of worked out, really well for us. And, through some gatherings and shooting some more pool and that type of thing. And it didn't hurt that our wives were comfortable with each other, okay? Again, I apologize for shooting on the phone. It's a little bit jiggly here. But, John and I ended up having that kind of relationship where Lynn and I decided to go down and check on air flights. We were having to work around our crew that's going to be continuing with the construction in Bogo. And, as it happens, we were able to fly the same day. So I quickly said to John, is it okay if we come right away? And I said, how long can we stay? And he said, come for a year, please, just come for a year. Got a spare room, But that is the kind of relationship that we have, right? Again, boy, am I ever wiggling this camera. Anyway, it was too noisy on the street, guys. The church was going in and all the trike traffic. But it's the acquaintance that's going to get you some of that key information that you need, starting to network and be able to find the rent and such that maybe has more Westerners, but isn't a bed space or location and stuff like that can be an absolute nightmare. You go in during the day and you see the unit and you're going, perfect, I'll move in there. And then you move in and then everybody starts coming home from work and, like 7,552 shirts all arrive on the clotheslines outside and everybody's sitting outside and everybody's got their door open and everybody's got their music running, and it happens a lot, especially here in Angeles. Oh man, it's crazy. So, so the acquaintance is a very necessary person. We've got a neighbor here that's a very good fellow to chat with and jaw with and stuff, but I wouldn't go out of my way. I wouldn't have flown all the way here, let's put it that way. But been a fantastic resource for understanding of 13A, adding more dynamic to the conversation when we're sitting down and talking here. Living a more provincial life, we had lots of conversation around that. And we've had some very good times together. But again, the difference between an acquaintance and a friend. I think it's really important to understand that. And it doesn't hurt that, again, our wives get along quite well. I think that also is important. But, accommodating, we don't accommodate as well as what the ladies will, right? It's just part of the culture here with the Philippines that, there's always something that they can yammer on about and they'll always exchange the Facebook pages. So there we go, a short little video here, but we're sitting in Angeles and I wanted to say that I still think Angeles is a destination. I'm not going to shoot the walking street and all of that stuff, guys. Check out Philly in the Philippines, a long established vlogger here. He does a lot more content than just the walking street and such. And then the newer one that I've run into is Far East Poppy. He's doing more here in the Anglais area. So Cebu, I still say, is another destination that you have to connect to. And again, I'm driving a lot of this from a medical standpoint, that if you need future medical, these are the locations where you're going to be able to get that emergency level hospitalization. Okay. If you die, you die. That's just a reality. Dumaguete and Bohol, again, pretty good. But again, relative to city size. Cebu has been remarkably high this year. Remarkably high. Way more here. Sorry, here. I'm in Anglais right now. Way more in Cebu right now than I have ever seen in 13 years. Huge numbers of foreigners and ladies that are traveling with their boyfriends or husbands. Wow. Like, I've just never seen the tourism level like that here in the Philippines with that many. My benchmark is the number of women, right? Huge this year. And maybe it's just the timing of a certain group coming in or whatever, but I've seen them at all the malls in Cebu. But Anglais is different. It's a very concentrated area, whereas Cebu is more spread out. But in both cases, you need those connections to get those acquaintances that ultimately, maybe through a friend or directly, you will end up developing a friendship. Okay? Important. I think it's still important, but be aware of that political nut bar that's out there. You just don't want to get dragged back into that life, guys, because I hope that when you decide to come here, you're letting it go. You've decided to leave your country. Let it go. You sure don't want to get it wrapped up in a new political system here. Open up a new YouTube channel, start from scratch so you don't keep getting those news blurps from your native country. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, guys, I will say later, Gators.